go. Let me hear you make some noise if you HBCU proud. Yes, that's what I hear. Let the people outside in the hall hear you if you HBCU proud. Yes, welcome to the HBCU Entrepreneurship Conference, and they told you I am Regina Robinson, and I am here today to share with you about Beyond the Books. How can we empower building entrepreneurial dreams together through collaborative teaching within the HBCU community? And I am HBCU proud. What role does historically Black colleges and universities play in building entrepreneurial dreams? Was for me, HBCUs was the education here from Bulldog for Life, BSU. It was the culture of being amongst people who looked like me every day, all day. It was the community of my professors. In fact, when I arrived here today, I got the opportunity to love on one of my professors who I had, I'm not going to give the amount of years ago, but years ago, to be in the room for him to say, I am still proud of you even today. And so the culture, the community, and the legacy that we create from our HBCUs is what's most important for our youth. And so as our youth strive to become entrepreneurs, they are leaning on us as a community, the contributions of HBCU's future and BSU alumni. I stand here proud as a BSU alumni because I am a Bulldog for life. And so, as you see here, I am proud to not only showcase that BSU is building bridges that will connect for years and legacies to come through their Entrepreneurship Center. Here is a reflection of what they are doing. And can I tell you, when I chose this middle picture, I didn't even realize one of my mentors is in this picture, who I have worked with countless years, who is here in the room today, Lionel, and who is a part of the Entrepreneurship Center. And then when I arrived to register, Vernice also, who is a part of the Entrepreneurship Center, we all hail from Nifty, and we are all certified entrepreneurship teachers. And so we have still that legacy of collaboration and connection. You never know who you know. You never know who you're going to meet along your journey, who is going to create an access and opportunity for you when you didn't even know. You never know when your name is going to be mentioned in rooms because of who you are, not because of what you've done in life or all your credentials, but simply because of who you are as a person. The legacy, the connection, the opportunities that you put in rooms when you walked in rooms, how you showed up, how you treated other people is what that legacy is going to create. Cornell Conway is a graduate of BSU. He has launched a business that is changing the world, that is making HBCU proud. And because of an indirect movement, it has directly impacted his business for overflow. Now, what's that indirect movement? That is, the Prime is on the move. Everybody know who Prime is. Coach Prime, he on the move. He's changing the culture of HBCUs, at least he was at Jackson State. Now he's changing the culture of college football regardless of where he is. But because of his change, because of his boldness to take on a culture that did exist, but now he's changing the way it exists, he changed the way Cornell's business is flowing, but not because he knew him, but because he's a direct, indirect correlation to that industry. So Cornell is a proud graduate of Bowie State University. He's partnered with 12 gyms in the Mid-Atlantic region and is the only Black-owned fitness manufacturer in the approved United States powerlifting associations. And so they say we as Black people are not on the move. I beg to differ. Cornell is a result of that. Latanya Langley is also a BSU graduate who has had the opportunity to be the vice president and chief marketing officer at Warner Brothers Television Group. Her company, as a marketing and entertainment company, has made major contributions. Why? Because her influence and potential of an HBCU nurturing who she was, not only as a student, but as a graduate, but as a woman entrepreneur. And so we are a part of HBCU, the journey of being proud. Here's what I know for sure. If you dream big, start small, but most of all, just start. Every aspiring entrepreneur in the room, it only takes you to do one step. Don't worry about whether you have all the answers to your second, third, or fourth step. It's just one step. And the one step is you believing in yourself. The one step is you knowing that the dream that you have on the inside is burning with you nightly and daily, that if you change and you birth that dream, it has the power to manifest changes in the world. It has a power to shift the atmosphere. It has a power to make a culture change from where it is to where it has a possibility to go. But you must first believe in you. You can't wait for somebody else to give you what you need. You have to give you what you need. 15 years ago, when I lost my job as a high school educator, not because of me, but because I had the power to voice myself and position myself, where I walked in an interview at a high school that didn't even have nifty entrepreneurship program, but it was a performing arts school, and I convinced them that every student in here is a business owner, but they don't know they're a business owner because they haven't met me yet. But when I get done with them, they can all turn their gifts and talents into a business that they can make money off of. Because they shouldn't be freely giving away their arts to the world, because there's a cost to the price that they've been blessed with. And so we brought nifty entrepreneurship to Duke Ellington School of the Arts. And on the day my boss told me, after working there for 3 years, he said, I did everything, Regina, I could to keep your job, but they wouldn't let me because we lost funding. Let me tell y'all what I said to this man. Y'all gonna crack up. I said, oh, you should have warned me, because I just remodeled my kitchen. I promise you, I was a single mother, which I am now a proud mother of a BSU student. Hello, Bulldogs for life. We're going through the legacy. She is a senior here today at Bowie State University. But back then, I didn't know how we were going to survive. But guess what? I had a big dream, because 2 years before that third year when he fired me, I created my own business. He said, now, when you leave, I'm going to still keep pushing your business. So don't worry. I'm going to share all your stuff. That was 15 years ago. 15 years later, I done placed plenty of students here as a BSU student. 15 years later, I done helped students get over $25 million in scholarships and grants. 15 years later, I done mentor students from around the world. I have traveled the world, but I dreamed big. Why? Because I first believed in me. I didn't wait for somebody else to believe in me. And here's for the students. Every time somebody asked me when I was going to go back to teaching, I said, why? I am teaching. I'm just teaching on my terms. I'm impacting students my way. I'm empowering them in their lives on my terms only. So I didn't need to go back and get a job. So students, dream big. Whatever it is that you have on the inside of you, dream big. Don't let your professors tell you you can't do it. Don't let your parents tell you you can't do it. And don't let your friends tell you you can't do it. I promise you, she said it best. She said, Jim Rohn, I love that quote. You are the legacy of the 5 people closest to you. And if those 5 people aren't empowering you, inspiring you, and impacting you for change, you ought to change your circle. And in fact, if you are the greatest in your circle, you better get a new circle. Because if you're pouring into everybody and nobody's pouring into you, you're in the wrong circle. Because you're going to always come up empty while they filled up, because you filling them up, but ain't nobody giving you in return. So when you dream big, start small. But most importantly, all you got to do is start. This don't work anymore, but that's okay. The slider not working, guys. That's all right. So here's what we know. The power of networking. That was going to be the next part. You want me to bring it to you? Oh, point it. Okay. The power of networking through mentorship. Who do you have that is mentoring you? I'm asking everybody in the room, does everyone have a mentor in the room? I don't care if you've grown 70, 80, 50, 60, 40, 30, 20, 15. Do you have a mentor? I have a mentor. I'm a coach and I mentor other people, but you should have a mentor too. Why is mentorship important? Some things you just don't know. Some things you're just not great at. And so why not have someone that can give you what you can't give to yourself? Sometimes we got to be willing to tap into someone else so that we can get the encouragement we need when we don't always have the encouragement. There's some days where you're depleted. There's some days where you just don't have it to say, I need to move one more step. And you ain't got that one step in you, but if you got a mentor, they'll push you for that one step. And so mentorship is important. HBCUs have been the catalyst for cultivating the next generation of innovators by connecting students to faculty. I told you my professor from years ago, won't say the years as usual, was here today. And so just to see his face spark something in me, because I remember, does anybody remember Professor Lowry? Anybody? Yes, okay, because y'all know. I remember coming to his class and all he would do is tell us, don't come in here whining, complaining, come in here ready to learn. And back then I used to be like, oh, he just do too much. But now I held on to that because I realized you complaining ain't going to help, but you learning will empower you to be greater. And so him pushing us allowed us to become the greatest version of ourselves in his classroom. And so I honor him today for that. The alumni, who are you connected to? BSU is filled with great alumni. You saw that. The world is filled with HBCU alumni who are doing amazing things. Students, are you tapping in to the alumni? And now the people who are here who are adults and you BSU grads, are you pouring back out as alumni? Are you offering yourself up as a mentor? If you were not a mentor before, after today, you should be. If you are not a mentor after today, you should be a mentor to a BSU student. I charge every BSU graduate in the room to mentor a BSU graduate. I'm currently mentoring 11 high school seniors, 4 high school juniors, and 2 high school freshmen in multiple schools sharing and speaking. Who are you pouring into? Because Maya Angelou says, when you get, give. And when you learn, teach. Who are you teaching? Who are you giving to? Because we have to be willing to give back in order to empower the next generation. 93% of HBCUs have an option for undergraduates to major in business. 75% offer entrepreneurship courses. Why? Because it is no longer okay for us to tell students that you need to go through high school, you need to go through college, and then you need to get a job. Time out for that discussion. You need to go to high school, you need to go to college and thrive, and then you need to discover what you're great at and what you've been purposed to do, and when you do it and you figure it out, work it all out. That's what we need to be telling our children moving forward, whether it's being an entrepreneur, whether it's a Fortune 500 CEO, whether it's you being a doctor or a lawyer, but don't forget to leave out that you can own your own business. Don't forget to leave out that you can pave your own way, that you can carve out what's best for you. We have some talented Black students. I'm going to say that again. We have some talented Black students. They are gifted, but if we don't start empowering them and if we don't start loving on them and pouring into, the world will suck them up and suck them dry. But not on my watch, because I'm going to continue traveling and speaking and sharing and letting the youth know that what's on the inside of you is greater than you. It's bigger than you, but you got to be willing to tell the whole world about what's going on the inside. 38% of HBCUs offer a Master's of Business Administration. Here's just a few of the major HBCUs that have produced amazing women and men who are changing the world. Oops, I think I that. Now more than ever, with African Americans starting businesses, our HBCUs are the foundation for educating and preparing the next generation of entrepreneurs. How many students do we have here today? I thought this room was going to be packed with students. So my students stand up. I love acknowledging our youth. My students, give them a round of applause because they're here. They could have been somewhere else, but they decided to show up here today. And that is going to help them because there's an opportunity for them to network in the room. Students, do not leave this room without getting somebody's name, somebody's phone number, and telling somebody all about your dreams. Because your dreams matter. But most importantly, when you talk about your dreams, see what seed they have that they can put water onto the seed of your dreams so that it can start to plant and manifest. That's what you want from the people that you share with today. But then most importantly, get something from the room. Don't just be here. Don't sit at your table quietly. Let everybody at your table know how great you are. Let everybody at the table know you got something to offer the world because your voice matters. Because all too often we've been told to silence our voice as youth. The youth here in the room, I'm telling you to turn up the volume. Make it loud. And don't make it loud about unnecessary chatter, but make it meaningful, purposeful chatter. Make sure your voice is heard. Social media tells you that it's going to be easy. I'm here to tell you that you're going to fail. I'm here to tell you that you're going to fall and it's going to hurt. I'm here to tell you you're going to have some sleepless nights, some crying nights. But on the other side of all of that, I'm here to tell you you can still stand bold and greater after all of that happens in your life. It is not about the journey. It is about it's not about the end. It's about the journey that you are about to encounter. You are not here at BSU to survive. Let me say that again. You are not here at BSU just to survive. You're here to thrive. You're here to make impact, and you're here to leave a legacy that will stand on this campus when you have already left this campus. So let's give it a round of applause for our youth here today. Thank you. You can sit. Oh, I'm hitting all kinds of buttons. One of the things I know that for years, entrepreneurship was a boys' club. Well, gentlemen, move over because the women have arrived. And we're not going anywhere in the entrepreneurial world. Everett, the young man earlier, said that we get less funding than any other ethnicity, male or female. We still at the bottom. But ladies, to all my African-American unstoppable women in the room, yet we rise. We are still going to continue this journey. We are still going to keep on pushing, and we are still going to continue launching businesses that change the world. And no, we're not just launching hair care business. It's amazing, but that's not all we're launching. No, we're not just launching skincare businesses, but those businesses are changing women's lives around the world. We are seeing in ourselves more than we've ever seen before. We are gracing stages around the world. We are making impact. We are creating, the young lady before says she's in health counseling. We are counseling other women to be impactful. We are changing the world one step at a time. And I always tell women, when you step, make sure you step boldly. When you step, make sure you're fearless in your step. When you step, make sure you're a disruptor. Make sure you're changing the world. Make sure you're impacting the world. Make sure you're leaving some of your dust everywhere you go. Treat another woman, though, with respect. Lift another woman up, because I always say, if you get to the top and you get there alone, you're there for no reason. In 2021, women started more businesses, 49% than men, 42%, according to a survey from Gusto. Now, they say as women, we're starting businesses and they're closing quicker than most people. Well, I stopped by to say that was a myth because I'm 15 years full-time in the business. So it is doable, but we got to be willing to support one another. We're the one culture that don't uplift one another. So that's why it's taking us longer to get to the top. So we have to start encouraging one another and taking one another along on the journey. Okay. There we go. There are 114% more women entrepreneurs than there were 20 years ago. I told y'all, ladies, we are on the move. 62% of women entrepreneurs cite their business as their primary source of income. We could not have said that 20 years ago. Some of us are creating an exit plan from what was once told us we should all have our good government jobs, or our good teaching jobs that we should retire from, right? Or our good lawyer jobs, or our good doctor jobs. A lot of women are saying enough of that, and I'm done that now. I just want to do what I love. I want to get up every day and do something that fuels me. Every day I get up and help youth. Every day I get up and coach women to become unstoppable. I love what I do. Why? Because I had opportunities for someone to pour into me, and I'm willing to pour back out what has been given to me. And so when we say 20 years ago we couldn't do this, 20 years now it is different. So if you are an aspiring entrepreneur in the room today, you want to be able to declare next year this time, I'm no longer an aspiring entrepreneur, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. or I'm an entrepreneur. It doesn't have to be full-time, because some people love their good full-time job. They just want to be a dualpreneur, meaning they want to work and be an entrepreneur. And Bowie State is educating students, and so are other HBCUs around the world, to allow you to not wait till you leave BSU to be an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur while you at BSU. You can make changes here on the campus. What are the problems around campus that need change? That's your business. Remember, businesses are someone who is creating a solution to problems. Problems that's going to change your community, your culture, and the people around you. How are you willing to step up and be the difference that your community needs from you? Entrepreneurship is about collaborating and building bridges. I tell all of the students to stand up and remember that every person at your table and in this room, they are your bridge. They are the ones that you're going to be able to, they're going to lay out themselves and become the bridge for you to walk over, for you to connect with, for you to build with, for you to grow with, for them to invest in you, right? There were two young people today who just launched their business, and they were able to get with Mr. Everett today because they launched their business on his platform. Do you know how powerful that was for them to show up and connect and collaborate with him, for him to see them and know that they're on their platform? Are you willing to be seen? Are you willing to enter the rooms that's going to make a difference? Because you could be at home, but being in a room is totally different. You got to be willing to show up, and when you show up, be unapologetic about sharing just how great you are. The world has told us for far too long as African Americans that we shouldn't celebrate who we are. I stopped by today to remind everybody in the room, you ought to tell everybody how great you are. When I sit down from here today, I'm going to say, girl, you did that. You was great. You were amazing. You ought to celebrate yourself, because if you're waiting for the world to celebrate you, you'll be disappointed every single time. The bridge is here at Bowie, but you got to be willing to connect. Thurgood Marshall Fund, and I'm sure everyone has heard of them, has an internship program that they have collaborated with Walmart, Wells Fargo, and Apple, three of the biggest corporations in the world. And Thurgood Marshall, one of the biggest organizations that help HBCU students. They have made the collaboration. They understood the bridge to be able to help African American students tap into these three things. Now, guess what? Thurgood Marshall can get you at Apple. They can get you at Walmart or Wells Fargo. But when you get there, will you make an impact so great that Apple, Wells Fargo, or Walmart wants to keep you? See, Thurgood Marshall is the bridge, but will you make the connection when you get there? It's only one thing to have the bridge, but you got to be willing to make the relationships cash in on the currency. Relationships are currency. Stop being a withdrawer, but you ain't no depositor. You have to stop asking people to give you all the time, but you're not willing to deposit anything back. First, be willing to serve. How can I serve you so that in return, you will willingly bless me? You got to be willing to position yourself. Howard University and Netflix partnership has allowed for an HBCU boot camp every year, so HU students get to benefit from that. You guys have to tap into these organizations, these opportunities, and everything that's afforded to you. Students, get in position, get in alignment, and if opportunity doesn't knock, build your own door. Build your own door and make a door that revolves, so that when you go through the door, don't dare go through the door by yourself and not look back and take another student with you through that door. Every opportunity is not given. You have to create it. Go out there and start creating the opportunities that's going to change the world, that's going to allow you to become the greatest version of yourself. Every student who stood up when you arrived to this campus freshman year, you were one person. When you left, when you are standing here now today on BSU campus, you are not like you used to look like. You don't talk the way you used to talk. You don't dream the way you used to dream. Your dreams are bigger. Your conversation is different. Your stance is greater. And most importantly, you have become a better version of yourself. I remind you, you did not come to BSU to just survive. You came to BSU to thrive. You came to BSU to become the greatest person you have been called to be in this lifetime. And to all my adults in the room, When you stepped in this room today, you had no idea that you would have the charge and the challenge to become a mentor. But today I leave you with that charge. Don't leave here today off BSU campus without finding out from Mr. Lionel in the Entrepreneurship Center, how can you serve any student who desires to be an entrepreneur? And in fact, if you desire to be an entrepreneur, ask them how can you come and how can they pour into you to become an entrepreneur? I leave you students with this because all my adults too on the same forefront. Every step that you take matters. Make sure that when you take those steps, you encourage someone, you smile at someone, you inspire someone, and you remind someone that your voice matters. You remind someone about how great you are. You remind someone that you are not willing to give up on you, and that from this day forward, you place all bets on you. Thank you. Long enough. You can connect with me on social media. It was on the screen, but it went down. Sorry.
Morning, Mr. Radio. Morning, little Cheerios. Morning, Sister Oreo. Did I tell you everything is fine? If my mind.
And now, please welcome to the stage Kenya Johnson, founder and CEO of Au Clair Vision, presenting Be Yourself, cultivating authentic expression in the HBCU entrepreneurship education.